Good morning, students. Today we will learn about the. So we included different kind of weeks. How a fetal can grow in different period of time. Okay. So this is about the weekly development of the fetal growth. Okay. So from starting, which kind of the changes or development by weeks of gestational occurs. Okay. So while gestation week are growing, how fetal development occur in different stages. So first of all, that is pre-embryonic period. In pre-embryonic period, that is starting from week first to second. So no developments occur since fertilization has not actually occurred. Obviously, if fertilization and implantation is not properly finished, then not any kind of the development occurs in fetus. Okay. So by week third, from 15th to 21st days, embryonic 5 to 7 days. Okay. So while week 3 starting, then the days of 15 to 21st. So in that period, embryonic has a 5 to 7 days. So fertilization occurs and from zygote. So fertilization completed that, and in zygote is formed. Okay. So the embryo hatches from its protein shell and perform the implantation. So now the fertilization completed here by the week 3, and implantation start after 5 to 6 days of the completion of the fertilization. Okay, so this is the events performing in week 3. Okay, so by week 4th, that is day of the 22 to 28 from LMP, that is the last menstrual period of mother. So from last menstruation period date till 28 to 22nd to 28 days, embryonic age is second week. So the fetus age is actually second week, but for our counting, that is the fourth week of gestational. Okay, so which kind of the event takes place in week 4? So the trophoblast cells surrounding the embryonic cells proliferated and invade deeper into the uterine lining. So in the uterine cavity, trophoblast cells are surrounding the embryonic cells, and proliferation starts and invade into the deeper into uterine lining. Okay, then eventually from placenta and embryonic membrane. So eventually the trophoblast form we already discussed in previous session, that is trophoblastic having two type of another cell, which one of them forms the placenta and second cell forms the fetal membrane. Okay, fetal's development and umbilical cord. So this is formed at the fourth week. Then formation of the yolk sac also occur into the fourth week. Then primitive streak development at the 13 days, and primitive stem villi also appears at the 13th day. So what is the primitive streak and stem? That is in figure you can show. Okay. So this is the primitive streak, and at the day of 16 it looks like in straight line. Okay, that is the primitive streak which develop at the 13 days. Next, by the 5th week, gestational age is the 4th week and embryonic age is a 3rd week. So a notochord forms in the center of embryonic days, that is the day 16 of the fertilization takes place. So the notochord forms the center of the embryonic disc, means surrounding of the fetus, that is the embryonic and yolk sac, and embryonic disc is situated into the center of the notochord by the fertilization of the 16th day. Then gastrulation commences the day 16 of fertilization. We already discussed in previous session, that is the events and stages. So in that, embryogenesis has another three stages. Gastrulation is one of them. In that, development of any plant or animal occurs. Okay, so it will commence at the day of 16 after the fertilization. and a neural groove, that is the future spinal cord, forms over the notochord with a brain bulge at one end, and neuromers appear at the day of 18 after the fertilization. So a neural groove, that is form future spinal cord of the fetus, okay, and notochord forms the brain with bulge at a one end, means one end having a bulging formation, and this event occur at the 18th day of the fertilization, okay. So somites, the division of the future vertebra, forms, okay. So in fifth week, the vertebra, spinal cord, brain, okay, all are forms, okay, after the some days of the fertilization, like 16, 18 or 20, okay, 20. Then primitive heart tube is forming and vasculature begins to develop in embryonic disc at the day of 20 of fertilization. So the heart tube also form after the 20th day of the fertilization, okay. So these all events occur during the fifth week, okay. So in figure you may having, you can show in this figure, that is the neural groove, then somites which forms from the embryonic disc, okay. So it looks like this neural groove, and future brain develops from the somites, okay. So here it's shown in figure, and next figure for the neural tube, then somites. So this is the different somites which forms the future brain, and this is the neural tube at the one end. So here it kind of the bulging formation occurs, okay. So these events occurs during the fifth week of the gestation. Next, that is the gastrulation. We already discussed in previous session. That is the gastrulation, means developmental of any animal or plant. Okay. So how it develops, it's shown in figure. That is the different layers we already discussed in three germ cells. That is the ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. So this is the endoderm, inner layer, outer layer, that is ectoderm, and middle layer, that is the mesoderm. And in the center of these cells, that is the notochord, and it then yolk sac and amniotic cavity, okay, which present into the uterine cavity for fetal growth and development. So this is takes place into the gastrulation events, okay. Next, that is the week 6. Gestational age is 5th week and embryonic age is 4th week. Events that occurs during 6th week, that is, now embryo measures at 4 millimeter, then heart bulging and begins to beat in regular rhythm. So you marked this line, that is the heart bulging and beating of the heart starting from the 6th week, okay, into the normal rhythm. Then neural tube is closed and arm, birds and tails are visible. We can visible the birds and tails at, of arms in the 6th week. Then pulmonary primordium appear, and the hepatic plate also appear. So the pulmonary and hepatic development also takes place during the 6th week. Then buccopharyngeal membrane ruptures and this forms the future mouth. So the buccopharyngeal are membranes that rupture during the 6th week, and which it will help for the formation of the future mouth of the baby. Then anterior and posterior horns differentiate in the spinal cord. Okay. So the anterior and posterior horns that are differentiated by the spinal cord. So in figure, you can find the differences of the developmental stage. So we already discussed in 4th stage, that is the brain development already start. Then branchial arc, means bronchi are also developed. Some kind of the eye formation, not fully. you cannot differentiate, but you can find out the look like structure of eye. Then most of the development of the heart beating also start in the 6th week. So this is heart and liver of the baby. Then arm buds, we differentiate anterior and posterior. This is somites which form the proper formation of brain. This is the umbilical cord attached with the maternal placenta, okay, which nourish to the baby. Then this is the tail board, means extremities and leg boards, okay. This is the maternal placenta and this is the yolk sac, okay. So by the 6th week, okay, this kind of the developmental you may found in baby and fetus is look like in this figure. Okay, are you clear with this? If you find any doubt, you may ask in next session. Okay, thank you.